straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here.
Hi, welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. The Formula One controversy refuses to die down. Verstappen Sr. has made some scathing remarks now about Christian Horner, and that is huge. In effect, saying Red Bull is a ticking time bomb, waiting to explode. What is the latest in the Christian Horner saga that overshadowed the race, even as Max Verstappen stamped his class over it in the first one of the season? The Indian cricket annual contracts continue to create buzz. There are views now coming in both for and against the decision. We give you the complete picture here and just what lies ahead for Manchester United after the loss to Manchester City. Is Erik Ten Hag living in denial at Old Trafford? And why does Phil Foden love the Derby Challenge? All of that heading your way. But first, a look at the headlines that's around the world of sports in Sports 360. We'll start with tennis. Rafael Nadal returned to courts after the injury break in an exhibition match last evening. The last time he featured in a tournament was in January at the Brisbane International. The 22-time Grand Slam champion played an official event called the Netflix Slam in the American city of Las Vegas. The Spaniard, though, lost to world number 2 and compatriot Carlos Alcaraz 6-3, 4-6, 12-14. The good news, though, is Rafael Nadal showed no signs of any discomfort. In basketball, NBA superstar LeBron James became the first player to score 40,000 points. The LA Lakers forward reached the milestone in his 21st season. James described the accomplishment bittersweet as the Lakers went on to lose to Denver Nuggets. Over in football, Real Madrid held off Valencia to a 2-all draw in a La Liga match. Hugo Duro's header gave Valencia lead in the 27th minute. The hosts added another goal just 3 minutes later by Roman Yaremchuk. Vinicius Jr. scored a vital double to help Real Madrid equalize. Bellingham's injury time goal was ruled out as he scored it 2 seconds after the final whistle blew. Over in cricket, the Indian men's cricket team clinched the top spot in the ICC World Test rankings. This happened after Australia won against New Zealand in the Wellington Test over the weekend. India dethroned New Zealand with a stronger points percentage. And in athletics, Netherlands' Femke Bol rewrote her own world record in the 400-meter hurdle race. Bol clocked 49.17 seconds at the World Athletics Indoor Championships. She beat the previous mark of 49.24 that she herself had set 2 weeks ago at the Dutch National Championships. Formula One 2024 season got underway with the Bahrain Grand Prix on the 2nd of March. Red Bull dominated the proceedings with a 1-2 podium finish, and it was like deja vu. The results very similar to that of the 2023 season. If not the drivers, at least the teams finishing in the exact same position sort of reminded us of all that happened last year. Max Verstappen winning the Grand Prix, Sergio Perez finishing second, Ferrari's Carlos Sainz finishing third, and Charles Leclerc on fourth. Instead of Hamilton in fifth, it was his teammate, George Russell, grabbing the spot. Lewis Hamilton, who had a bad start, settled for the 7th position, and it was the McLaren duo of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri finishing 5th and 8th respectively. Red Bull's domination was exactly like 2023. But there was one thing that set this season apart from that one. Red Bull grabbing all the headlines on and off the grid. Even as Max Verstappen was setting the tracks ablaze, his team principal Christian Horner was setting the social media platforms aflame. The dramatic turn of events is only gathering momentum as each day passes. When these accusations first came to light and Red Bull said the matter is being investigated and Horner was in fact cleared, you thought that it's all done now, the matter has ended. And right then came the email leak. Christian Horner, who has been subject to severe criticism, was once again the topic of conversation. Horner's situation became even more tricky after the email leak, in fact, and the email carried intimate conversations with the female employee, and that's raised a lot of eyebrows. So much so that the Formula One community also questioned Red Bull's investigation. The other team bosses were also demanding some amount of transparency in the entire issue, but it is not dying down anytime soon. Over the weekend, when Red Bull took to the tracks, the focus was on Horner more than the car. One of the reasons for that, Christian Horner was attending the race with his wife, Jerry Halliwell. Horner was seen entering the Formula One paddock with his wife, and Halliwell was seen smiling and confidently holding on to Horner. We spoke about Red Bull's united front, but this was Horner trying to send a very loud message that he's not only had the support of his team, but also that of his wife, that all was well at home too. It was quite the show that he knew he was putting up. While the optics were all in place, the controversy still continued to mar the opening race, despite Horner choosing to refrain from commenting on it explicitly.
I'm not going to comment on what motives whatever person may have for doing this. My focus is on this team, my family, my wife, and going racing. I have the support of an incredible family, of an incredible wife, of an incredible team, and everybody within that team. You can see what it meant to the whole team. Better to do your talking on track. The focus is now very much on the cars.
Rather eloquently put there by Horner himself, the unbothered display by the duo comes after many speculated Halliwell's absence. Her presence surely proved a point here. But given the accusations Horner is facing, the picture tells quite the different story. But the biggest uproar in this matter has come from Verstappen's quarters. I'm referring to Father Verstappen. Former racer Jos Verstappen publicly called for Horner to be removed from his role in the Red Bull setup. He even went ahead and said Red Bull is in danger of being torn apart. His very words.
There is tension here while he remains in position. The team is in danger of being torn apart. It can't go on the way it is. It will explode. He's playing the victim when he's the one causing the problems.
Those are some strong words from Verstappen there. In fact, this is the very first time anyone connected with Red Bull, even remotely, has come out strongly objecting Horner's position, has come out bringing the apparent divide in the team out in the open and showing displeasure in this situation that the team finds itself in. All thanks to Christian Horner's case. The team principal himself, who is caught in the storm, may be confident of leading the side, but not everyone is impressed with the controversy surrounding Red Bull at the moment. Max Verstappen too was asked about the issue, but he denied to make any comment. However, he has neither backed Horner openly nor has taken a stand against him. Verstappen Jr. instead said he is behind Horner in his role as far as the team's performance is concerned. But Jos Verstappen's statement is a reflection of what the Verstappens think and stand for, doesn't it? The apple cannot fall that far away from the tree because we know Jos plays a central role, a very key role in his son's career and decision-making process. They are one when it comes to his development in this field and his role in Red Bull, from one racer to the other. Now, what about the governing body then? Formula One and FIA too are concerned about the sport's reputation. Both are believed to have held close-room discussions with Horner over the weekend. But neither has commented on the matter, at least, and neither will, at least until they've seen the investigation that was conducted by Red Bull. That's what reports say, and that's the tricky part. Red Bull have denied making the investigation public, and unless that happens, can FIA and Formula One take a decision on this really? But no governing body ought to sit on a landmine like this because any explosion is bound to take everyone down with it. More importantly, the reputation of the sport that lies at stake. In a very unprecedented surprise move, BCCI, or the Board of Control for Cricket in India, decided to not give Indian cricketers Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan any contract for the year 2024. Now, I don't remember the last time such an action was taken. Though the release only said that they did not consider these two for a contract under any grade, what reports suggested, and many sources are saying, is that Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan were punished for apparent insubordination. But this happened some days ago, and yes, we brought you all the details of it, but the matter is not resting, not yet anyway. Many prominent voices from around the world have weighed in on this very bold decision made by the board, and the opinion is divided. A lot of the former cricketers like Pragyan Ojha and Dilip Doshi have backed this move. Doshi in fact said that, and I quote, "I have no sympathy for the players who chose to ignore domestic cricket despite the strong advice. Probably they're not serious about the game," he says, "and they deserve to be ignored, and other aspiring players should replace them, should take their place." Kamran Akmal, remember him, the former Pakistan cricketer, out of nowhere came out to speak in support of this decision to axe the contracts of Shreyas and Kishan.
BCCI has made the right call taking such strict action early on to control the damage. If they had given them a leeway and handed them central contracts, a lot more players would have started playing on their own terms in the future. India have given a message to their players to ensure that nobody even thinks of doing something like this the next time. This is proof of good management. Nobody is bigger than the game.
All very fair viewpoints, but here's the latest remark, and that has added some more fuel to the matter. Brought in another angle to this whole story that we need to bring to you. Indian cricketer Shardul Thakur, he's currently playing the Ranji Trophy game for Mumbai. They've just in fact beaten Tamil Nadu in the semi-final. They've entered the final of the Ranji Trophy tournament. It was a brilliant innings-saving 100 that he scored a couple of days back against Tamil Nadu. And speaking to the press at the end of the day, he said that the current schedule with just 3 days between games is what is making it all too tight and difficult for the players.
If the boys keep playing like this for 2 more seasons, there will be a lot of injuries across the country. Next year, the BCCI have to relook at it and give more of a break. When I remember playing Ranji Trophy back in the day, good 7 to 8 years back, the first 3 games used to have a 3-day break, and then it was a 4-day break, and knockouts were played with 5-day breaks.
Why has this happened though? What's the reason for the squeezed schedules? Why? IPL or Indian Premier League, of course. The IPL window is only getting bigger, and that has resulted in BCCI force-fitting the domestic schedule in a shorter window, during a shorter span, making it rather a difficult phase for many cricketers. At least that's what Shardul Thakur is saying. The IPL now is just some weeks away, and Shardul Thakur is set to appear for the Chennai Super Kings, the defending champions outfit this year. And his statement has thrown this matter wide open. But even before this came in, a few voices have tried to support the players who seem to be out in the cold. Like Sunil Gavaskar, former India cricket captain. He said that he sympathized with Shreyas Iyer's situation.
Iyer had also played in the Ranji Trophy game as asked by the Indian team management just before this test series started. So it's not as if he has refused to play the Ranji Trophy at all. He did miss the quarterfinals, but that was also the time he had informed the team management of his inability to play the third test match due to some pain in his back if he batted for some length of time.
Well, he goes on to say that Shreyas Iyer probably did not feel up to the mark physically, and though the trainer at NCA may have okayed his fitness, the threshold of pain is really a very personal thing. It's very subjective. That's what Gavaskar said. And he also says he was not sure about Ishan Kishan's status or his reasons and why he was not playing domestic cricket, so chose not to really comment without knowing the complete picture there. But many former cricketers also saying that no one can be compelled to turn up for domestic duty constantly. When comments were being made on why Hardik Pandya was let off the hook, there came reports thereafter immediately that Hardik Pandya has been told to turn up for white ball domestic tournaments to make up for not playing tests because of his concerns, his fitness concerns. So not only have the different opinions kept this issue a much talked of one, but the latest statement made by an Indian cricketer has also seemingly put the cricket calendar under scrutiny. Back to the question of too much cricket. Either ways, it's a tough act to balance. The other boards are also in a very tricky situation here and would be observing and watching how this one really plays out in the months to come. Do stunning IPL performances really then change the equation? Because we know there's a T20 World Cup right after that. The truth is, only the BCCI has been able to deliver the diktat to its players, to keep decorum in some sense, in the manner that they view it. Some other boards are still stuck in a fight that is only going to grow in intensity in the months and years to come. The Manchester derby showed up a couple of things. That the gap between Manchester City and Manchester United is very wide. And when a Manchester derby comes around, you can be sure that Phil Foden is rubbing his hands and giving a silent grin somewhere. Yesterday's Premier League game between Manchester United and Manchester City certainly proved this. Imagine the City squad that had the likes of Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, but the biggest threat on the pitch was a 23-year-old Phil Foden. Foden's double helped City beat United 3-1. United were in fact leading 1-0 until half-time. But Foden not only brought City on level terms but also took the game right away from United. Foden has been haunting United rapidly. The Englishman seems to be on a mission against the Red Devils. But even so, is manager Erik Ten Hag's time running out, and is he constantly living in denial?
If you thought Manchester United would bring the momentum from their last Premier League win, then you'll be sadly mistaken. When City hosted United at the Etihad Stadium, many believed it to be a one-sided affair in City's favour. The pundits called it right, so did the fans and the meme makers. Manchester United was shaking in their boots, and the loss against City only reiterated that. Despite taking the early lead, Marcus Rashford's goal in the 8th minute gave out a statement from United's side. But the disparity in both the sides was visible right after the goal. If City were attacking to get the goal in, United were just looking to defend their 1-0 lead. The difference in mindset was evident on the pitch. Manchester City had 27 shots compared to that of United's 3. Manchester City had the possession for 73% of the game. The difference in numbers proves the massive gap between the two sides, and with those numbers, the game was bound to go in City's favour. And the breakthrough came from a young sensation, Phil Foden. Foden scored in the 56th minute to nullify Rashford's early goal. And unlike United, City kept attacking despite the 1-1 scoreline. It was Foden's 80th minute goal that swung the game in City's favour. With that, Foden has now scored 6 goals in the Manchester derbies. All 6 goals came in a span of 4 games, which also includes a hat-trick. The youngster has been United's biggest worry lately. It wasn't just his goals that hurt United. It was his ball movement on the pitch and the mockery he made of United's defence. His performance earned him praises from City boss Pep Guardiola.
Always had the feeling to score goals. In the training sessions, always had the feeling. But now it's winning games. So to become a world-class player at that age, you have to win games. And always play good, always have incredible work ethic. It doesn't matter the position, no complaint. He lives to play football, but now he's winning games. That's why he's becoming a really important player for us and for national team from England.
Foden has been City's biggest performer this season. He scored 18 goals in the 2023-24 season across all competitions. But for the youngster, the Manchester derby holds a lot of significance.
My aim is to turn up in the big games. This is what I want to do, and I think this season I am proving that. I just need to keep working hard. I understand what it means for the fans, a derby at the Etihad. It means everything for me. To score as well is even better, but it was about the win today.
After scoring 6 goals in the Manchester derby, Foden became part of an elite list that includes Wayne Rooney, Eric Cantona, Paul Scholes, Sergio Aguero, Erling Haaland and Marcus Rashford. Manchester United have many questions staring at them. The rest of the season is going to be rather gloomy, and Erik Ten Hag is certainly a manager under fire. He may vehemently deny that there was no stark difference between the two teams, but the reality is there for all to see, and time is ticking for the United manager.
Time for Last Serve. This is where we bring you some stunning sporting action that can take your breath away. And clearly, we're not done with snow or icy slopes just yet. Today, we take you to the mountain cliffs of Georgia, where skiers are showcasing their talent. Take a look. Really hard in the mouth stuff, that, but that does it here, wraps it up here for us at First Sports. We hope you liked our broadcast today and thanks for joining in. I'll see you again tomorrow with some more interesting sporting action. Till then, bye.